Okay, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Three Wise Guys podcast. How is everybody doing?
Wow, there's no. I'm here with Delapo. I'm here with Luke.
You guys shamed me out of that.
How's everybody doing?
We shamed you out of that.
I shamed you out of it's your boy.
Yeah, it's your boy. Yeah,
it's your boy. I was like, yeah, just because you're a man, you're a grown human being.
It's yeah. Okay, so there you go. Perfect. All right, it's your man Arya. And your men, and your other men, Delapo and Luke. Actually, we should have just stuck to Chiefs. We had this whole thing about Chiefs that we should have just stuck to.
It was like
you know, the Chiefs'
best idea lasted 2 seconds.
The Chiefs' momentum died with the playoffs last season. So,
speaking of Chiefs, we just got tickets to go see the Chiefs play the Bills in Buffalo. So I'm actually really excited about that.
I was excited. We don't have to my Splitwise.
Yeah, so I put that on your Splitwise today. I hope, that doesn't shock anybody too much.
No, it's fine. No,
what was it, like 600 USD, 700, like 700 CAD?
It was $639 Canadian. Each.
See, I mentally like just wrote off like this is my boy math. Like, you know how like girls will just like randomly fake like fucking like. Anyway, I won't go into what girls do. What I do is I overestimate how much I'm gonna spend by like an exorbitant amount.
Same.
And then I pleasantly surprise myself when I don't spend that much. I'm like, wow, look at me. I'm so financially savvy. I budgeted this much. And like
I do the exact same thing where like it's always horrible when like, you know, it ends up being more than you planned for. Like I think it's pleasant surprise. You know, when it's like, you know what? I actually have like 200 or 300 extra to spend.
Even if it is a ridiculous amount of money for what you're buying anyways.
Whatever. It's about tricking yourself. I will say where I usually fall short and fuck up is, let's say I thought it was going to be 1,000 and it ends up being 630. Then I'm like, ooh, I have $300 to spend on dumb shit.
Yeah, that's...
And it's like, no, you should keep that $300 for the next dumb purchase later down the line. But yeah, like I digress. Excited to go into Bills territory, enemy territory, and
with our Mahomes jerseys.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna derail the podcast.
No, I know exactly what you're gonna read. When this is not a conversation.
It's an argument.
It's an argument. We're not doing the argument right now. I'm sorry. We're not doing.
I have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, no, because that's why it's gonna be great to get your take on it, but it's gonna derail.
We can debrief.
I know exactly what you're gonna talk about. We're not doing.
And he knows he's gonna lose. But
I'm not gonna lose. I already told you you're gonna make a good argument the first time. You're gonna make a good argument the second time.
Now you're pissing me off.
We can debrief post podcast.
We'll debrief this after, and then if we feel compelled enough, we'll put it to the audience next time to see if
my argument was rock solid.
It was not, but okay.
Yeah, rock solid. Anyway, speaking of sporting events, I was at a Blue Jays game yesterday. Shout out the Jays. Shout out Andreas Gimenez.
Why are you dying? Why?
It's definitely not Gimenez. It's definitely not Gimenez.
Weren't you at the game?
Yeah, and you know what's crazy? He played really well. He usually is not a great batter, but he was going like man was hitting some home runs. Anyway, sorry for butchering your name, but I wanted to talk about this. So, as you know, I had a client dinner yesterday, and you know, like originally we were like, should we go out for dinner and then we go to the game after? I'll be 100% honest. I totally loafed it, and we have a sheet where you basically you block off like the season's tickets for your clients.
Oh yeah.
And I'm checking like my notes, and I had like a note in like July to be like, yo, like make sure I blocked this off. I did not block it off. Okay. I literally did everything else. I sent an email like on Sunday being like, hey guys, like excited to see you, blah, blah. Did not check the tickets. So I'm on my way to the office yesterday. It's 1 p.m. and Noah messages me, one of the partners at the company, and he's like, yo, you didn't block off the tickets. I was like, what? I opened the sheet.
But they're available still, though.
No, like they were given already to like someone else. Like, because when you don't block them off, like they always try to make use of it. So they like gift it to clients or gift it to like friends, things like that.
Gift it to clients.
Yeah.
Oh, sheesh. I thought it was like, oh, like an employee.
Yeah.
It's like, get the fuck
If
out.
it was, it would have been okay, but that wasn't the case. And sometimes it is the case. We kind of just, like, yeah, you're right. Like, we do that. Anyway, so they had to scramble, and like they ended up getting tickets in a different section called like the Blueprint Club. So it's like, that was like dinner included and everything. So we ended up going there.
Dinner included.
Yeah, it's like you get like honestly, the food quality, I was surprised because it's like a buffet.
What type of food?
There was like pork belly, there was like roast chicken, there was like
their wings.
Dude, really good wings.
Okay.
And so they have
Like, it's a sports.
they have a section of food that's available the whole time, and then they have food that's like only available up to basically the second inning. And
Was there like pasta or mac and cheese?
there was a mac and cheese, but there was chicken shawarma, which was really good. There was like barbecue pork sliders, so that like would go away, and then during the game you could still get like I think there was ribs, there was pork belly.
Well, I don't know why Arya is dying. I'm asking important.
By the way,
I rarely see D this like in tune and engage with the conversation.
Ooh, ribs.
Is like, what was on the menu? Can you tell me what was on the menu? You don't care about the calories, the price, the ingredients, the sauces.
there was salmon, but I'm obviously not going to bring that up for Delapo.
Salmon.
Yeah, anyway, it was good. But then they had the section that you could.
What do you mean? I'm a glutton.
Here's salmon. He's like, who's salmon? You don't
I
even
mean,
like fish.
like, yeah, but like it just means there's like a spread. Like,
Yes,
you know?
there was sushi. I didn't touch the sushi because I was like, I'm not
shouldn't touch
gonna get sushi here. There was like crab legs and stuff like that. Anyway, it was pretty fancy. Like it was nice, and they had like wings and chicken tenders and like hot dogs and nachos that you could get throughout the entire game. So like that food was always available, but then the other stuff you have to. Anyway, that wasn't even a point of the story.
Sorry, yeah.
So we go to the Blueprint Club, and we're there, and like we're inside, we're sitting down with the client, we're eating and we're drinking, and we're like, okay, and then the game starts, right? And
I'll
then,
tell you what, if I was a client, I'm happy. Like before the game even starts, like what? All this food? Like, come on, you guys know how to do it right.
Yeah, I think we've all established that you'd be incredibly happy in this scenario.
yeah, believe it or not, without you confirming for us, I think we
know
knew
you'd
that.
be happy. The second you heard wings, it was over. It doesn't matter what's going on.
No. Continue.
D was like, do I derail this even more? Let me take a step back. Anyway, so we're in there, and like at that point, like the clients, they maybe had like 2 like double whiskey like gingers, but they were like, like they want to drink a bit more. The meeting went well because what's it called? The partners, Mike also came, and they were like, let's take shots, and they were like getting like classy amigos shots and like all this shit, and I was like, all right.
Who said let's take shots? The clients or Mike?
Mike.
Wow. Okay.
He was like. Shots, and he was like, I'm not even gonna ask you. Round of 6, and then like he went and like got them. Anyway, and then they were like, okay, we want to drink more, and then they were like, and Mike's like, oh, don't worry, like we can order at the seats. So there was the 6 of us, and like we couldn't get 6 seats in a row. So how it worked out was there was 2 of us, and then the other 4 like sat right underneath, like if it was me and the next person started here, right? But there was 2 people sitting in front of us, and then there was other people. Mm-hmm. So throughout the game, like we're always punching in the drinks on the second row, right? Just to like keep everything together. And then what starts to happen is like at one point, the server comes and brings like a rum and coke, and I guess like we didn't order it, but the guy sitting in front of me and like next to like Noah and the clients and stuff, he grabs it and he's like, "Oh, this drink isn't yours? Like this isn't you guys' drinks? Oh, what a shame! Like what a shame that Rogers would waste a drink like this." And he just starts like sipping it, and then like you can tell because it's like there's the person taking the orders, and then there's like the busboy coming in running the drinks out, and then the busboy, like you can tell he's just like, I'm not gonna fight you. Yeah. You know what I mean? So he ends up leaving, and then a couple innings go by, and then we're getting another round of drinks. I was like, okay, I'll get like a double like gin and tonic, and then it comes, and then everyone's getting double, so I'm like, I'm gonna get a double too. Like why not?
Devolved into like no, this is like there's shots, there's drinks, and now
Bro, let me tell you, I was
Corporate
keeping
America runs on gin.
Yeah, I was keeping it pretty chill, but so also one of the guys there was like telling me that like the best gin, and it's really hard to get this in Canada. Harbor 60 used to carry it, but they don't carry it anymore. Is this thing called something monkey gin, and it's from Germany. And he was like going in about like anyway, doesn't matter. I'm getting sidetracked. So I get the double gin and tonic, and then I go inside to grab like I think some wings to come out, and then while I come down and sit down, I see the server talking to like the guy and knowing them, and then because like they didn't order the gin and tonic, right? They got their drinks, and they were like, oh, who got this? And I was like, oh, I got it. And then he was like, oh man, like, you know, and he basically, well, I think he hears me say that. He takes a sip and he's like, oh, this is your drink? Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. Like, you know, but like, you guys got to do the right thing now. You guys got to make him a new drink, you know. Wait, it's my bad. No one knew whose drink this was.
Just a guy like in the surrounding like
just
club
literally
area.
Sitting in front of us. By the way, it was all good spirit. Like we were all laughing and shit.
And like you guys, wait, pause. You guys,
they comped it. Like they straight up just comped all these.
Sapphire Club area, and this dude is there too.
He is.
This dude has a lot of money.
He's, by the way, he's there with his family, and they're buying drinks. He's just not buying drinks because he's gaming like this whole thing. So anyway, this guy ends up getting like 3 free drinks, and like I'm telling you, this was like probably close to like $70 with them, because you know, like I mean, like they upcharge like crazy there, and then it's like his whole strategy was like, if there's confusion, take a sip, and I'd be like, oh, sorry guys, you know, like what can we do? And then
this boy is probably like in the back getting slapped by his
bro. I feel so bad for the server and the busboy, and then like near the end, like Mike's settling up, and he's like, hey, I know I probably don't have to say this, but like none of those guys' drinks are on our bill. and she was like, no, we're really sorry about that. He's like, no, like don't be sorry. He's like, look, like Rogers is fine. Like it's 3 drinks. It's fine. But dude, it was just so funny. Like I couldn't even describe it, but like you're right. Like now retelling the story, it's like it's kind of like, wow, like what he's kind of being a dick, but it's like the way he was going about it was so like lighthearted. It was kind of just funny. Like I don't know how to describe it, but
that's how
Jedi mind trick.
That's how bad people get away with things.
He incepted it into like our minds or something. But like,
you will give me your drinks and get Rogers to pay.
It was like I can't believe he got away with it like 2 to 3 times. Like I can't remember. I think it was 3 times because I think someone else ordered like a because and afterwards it became a running joke in our whole section. Like he would come back with like fruits, and then Mike would be like, "Oh hey, sorry, I think I ordered."
Yeah, and then grab.
Oh, you should have. Oh, that would have been so good.
Yeah.
I think I have one of your pizza pockets.
You know what I mean?
And then like the guys next door would be getting beers, and then they're like, no, I didn't get a beer. I got a beer in a cup, so this isn't my order.
Oh,
but anyway,
so this dude had access to all the food as well.
Yeah, dude, this guy probably actually had season tickets in that section. So, dude, by all accounts, he was way more loaded than us.
Yeah, I'm like
we're renting that section.
You're a company that's like renting it, and he's an individual that's there with his family.
I know, right? Like it's
like he's probably loaded.
Yeah, no, he's definitely loaded. I'm like, it's just the things like people like want to skimp on.
And then I was like, this is how I know I don't have that rich person mentality. Cause like the moment I start making a little bit of money, you know, I'm just like, I get so generous. I just like, I don't think about these things. I feel like if I check this guy's net worth, bro, I would not be surprised if it's like fucking like several, like tens of millions, hundreds of millions. Like anyway,
hundreds of millions.
He has that. He'd
be a next level kind of evil if he was worth hundreds of $1 millions doing that. I'm telling you.
But dude, those guys exist, you know. Those guys exist. But yeah, that was and then you know what's even crazier? At the end of everything, they were gonna go to Union to go like take the GO train back to like London, like Cambridge area, which is where they're from. And as like in the last inning, I just hear like Noah and Mike talking, and they're like, "Yeah, you know, I got a membership at the wine club at Union. They're open till 3, and the
wine club
and the trains run till 2." And I was like, and he was like, "Yeah, like he's like, yeah, should we go and?" peruse a little bit. He's like, yeah, always a good idea, always a good look. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I was like, it's 9:30. It's almost 10. If I go there, you guys are staying there till 12, and they did because Noah came into the office today at like 2 p.m.
You gotta remember, he's a partner.
Oh, obviously. No, but they were like, come, Luke, and I was like, like I gotta actually do work tomorrow. So, yeah, that was the Blue Jays. But shout out the guy. Shout out your strategy. Game recognizes game. I may be trying this in the future.
Oh
Right.
gosh,
Watch out for us the next Jays game we go to.
Yeah, the key is you gotta be funny. Okay. Yeah, Luke, not your strong suit, but
You're
you
right.
gotta be funny.
All right, it's not. It might not work. It might not work.
So let's get on with it. Let's go through some rapid fire headlines. The first one, which we'll post the video actually here. This is submitted by Luke. Incredibly interesting. So this is a tweet from the Morning Brew. China hosted the first ever World Humanoid Robot Games over this past weekend. Not this past weekend. The weekend before, right? Yeah, the weekend before.
Yep.
So this consisted of 280 teams, 16 countries, and 500 humanoids. So the events included track and field, boxing, soccer, obstacle courses, cleaning, and sorting medicine.
Cleaning. I didn't see the cleaning.
Sorting
one.
medicine is the last one.
That's pretty
Pill fill.
insane.
They're doing pill fill as a Olympic thing now.
Well, I wonder if it's like capsules or if it's like. Like I wonder if it's like boxed medicine where it's like kind of like capsule format and
because my sister is a compounding pharmacist assistant and that's kind of what she does. It's like do like the drips, like the caps, like every
inventory control,
inventory, everything. So yeah, I'm curious. Did Canada compete? Do we know?
I don't think a lot of. I didn't see a lot of North American.
Yeah, of course we didn't.
And European countries. I think it was mostly Asian countries, from what I understood.
Teenage, I'm tripping. Yeah,
I'm tripping. Yeah, he stopped himself right before he went into detail.
This is gonna be a swimming versus running segment again.
What do you mean?
Is there 16 Asian countries?
You know, like fucking Asia is just so small.
Like what? Okay, here's the thing. Whenever you say these things, I'm like, I know you're not fully serious, but there's like a percentage of seriousness. Like, is it more or less than 50% in this case?
So it's my mouth going faster than my brain.
Okay,
that's what it is. It's like, you know, it's like my brain is like, wait, what was just said? And my mouth is like, ask. And then my brain's like, no, you're a dumb fuck. Like, you know, so it's the classic dichotomy.
Okay.
My question to you guys for this is, do you think this competition, this robot Olympics, should be adopted globally or let it exist where it exists?
No, I think it should be global. Like,
absolutely.
Gino, like this throws me back to some Big Bang Theory episode where like they built like these little machines and there's this like underground fight club.
Yeah.
Like, the machines were going at it and it's like these were like, you know, Caltech PhDs, like, you know, doing this for fun. It's like just a way to like, you know, like let loose, but also like do super cool, innovative things. And I'm like, yeah, like if you can build a humanoid robot that can compete in sports, like I'd like to believe, you know, they'd be able to complete some other tasks as well. And like, you know, it might be a way you figure out how to innovate something. And, you know, competition is always great. So yeah,
we have those robot fighting competitions. You know have you ever seen those?
No, I know.
So there's robot fighting competitions. There's actually Luke can put one up in a second, but
nice.
It's basically like different. Sometimes it's universities, sometimes it's like school clubs, things like that are competing internally.
Yeah,
and they'll make a robot, you know, little guy, you know, with wheels, a couple different weapons. Some use fire, some use electricity, some use like blunt force, you know, like melee weapons, and they put them in a ring and you fight against another robot until you destroy the other person's robot.
Yeah, like
and that's it. It's one and done.
Oh yeah,
when it's destroyed, it's destroyed, right?
Yeah, like I like yes, exactly, battle bots. And
that's the problem though, man. Like the real we were talking about meta earlier. They just don't. They're all tanks. Like they're all built like tanks.
Yeah,
you know?
No, they have these ones have to be humanoid. If it's like, I like the human because those, like anyone can kind of create like a boxy contraption,
right? Because you almost want like low center profile,
but like you want to like who makes the best like humanoid fighter? I think that'd be pretty. Well, not just fighter, right? There was like
everything. I really like how the competitions were like different levels of competency for a robot, right? Like it was track and field. Which, by the way, you said soccer was the funniest. The track and field one was hilarious because I don't know if you noticed, but like like 2 or 3 of them just fell before they made it to the finish line, and then one of them had to be dragged off. It was like they were picking up a body off of the track.
If you saw the soccer one, the moment they fell, like the guys were coming and like just like airlifting them.
Yeah,
it's like they just died on the battlefield or something like that. The medics are coming to get them.
You know, okay, I totally get why they're doing this type of competition where it's just like, okay, you put a humanoid robot and they try to emulate a human, but I think it would be so much cooler if you made them like humanoid like instead of just like straight up human, in the sense of like why does a robot have to like punch? A robot wouldn't punch. Like a robot would have like a hammer on its hand, like attached to its hand, you know what I mean? Or its hand would be a mace, you know what I mean?
You like Inspector Gadget, nigga?
No, like a Real Steel. Like, have you ever seen a Real Steel?
It's a comic.
It's a comic, and it was also a movie. Like, but it was like
this
real
is comic book level thinking right here. This is comic book.
Well, I'm saying merge both, merge the battle bot and merge the humanoid robot thing, right? Like, force them to have legs, but you know, if the leg has a flamethrower on it, why not?
Wow. You know, the theory is like the reason why we're trying to do humanoids robots is because like the world we've created was to be experienced by humans, right? And so if we want to elevate our experience, whatever helper we're bringing in has to be able to experience the world in like a human-like way, at least for us to, do you get what I mean? Because what we want them to help us with is with human tasks. Right, so it's like
I always thought it was they need to be like, well, yeah, I understand the human aspect. I thought it was for us to be able to relate to them better or like accept them because we need them to look like us and like move like us.
Certainly one of them. I don't think it's just one reason, but yeah, I know that.
I think those are kind of like two sides, same coin thing, but yeah.
Anyways, next up in interesting things that have happened. So you guys don't know who the Menendez brothers are, right?
No.
Okay. So for our viewers who don't know who the Menendez brothers are, they're two brothers. In 1989, they were sentenced to the murder of both of their parents. They were sentenced. Actually, no, it happened in 1989. They were sentenced in 1996. They fatally shot both Jose Menendez and their mother Kitty Menendez. And this was like 36 years ago. So it's fucked. I didn't like either rendition of what you said because you cussed again. Whatever. They went through like the whole like court process, everything. I think they like pled not guilty at first, but then
tragic.
Then they pled guilty afterwards, or I guess they just got convicted. I think they tried to maintain their innocence, but then in prison they confessed and talked about it, whatever. Anyways, they're serving life. That's what they were given, and the two of their parole hearings came up this past week. So the first brother, Eric, he went, he did his parole hearing, and basically they said, we don't think that you've grown enough from your mistakes, because apparently he joined a gang in prison. This is the article that I read, and they denied his parole. They said you can try again in a few years if we see things change. And then his brother Lyle got the exact same ruling when he went like the next day.
It's so like what prison are they in?
Because it's in San Jose.
Because this is a California prison. From what I understand, in California prisons, like if you're not in a gang, you're gonna die. And it's like, when you join like one of these prisons, because it's like, again,
sorry, San Diego, but yeah, that's
yeah, but it's like, but it's more so just like the fact that like you are in a gang based on your skin color, and if you don't want to be, that gang will kill you, and then if you want to be, the rival gangs may or may not kill you. That's my understanding of it. I mean,
like every single show about prison that I've seen, or like documentary about prison that I've seen, has said, you essentially need to be in a gang. Right. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like the parole officers probably don't care about any of that.
Yo, you're absolutely right. You're
like,
absolutely right.
You joined a gang and you are not ready to be released back. But yeah, like how do you get back?
Dude, there's all sorts of like messed up
behavior,
like problems with like this like not with the Menendez brothers specifically, but more so in terms of like jailing and like ruling and all this stuff. Like, this is going to be a little bit of a sidetrack, but like actually this was something that was brought up yesterday because I didn't know this, but the owners of the client, like the company, like he actually used to be a cop, and before he started investing in real estate and growing his business, and like he was actually like we were asking him about like, oh, like what's the issue, and like really what it is like it's legislation, right? And it's like, for example, we were asking him like, oh, what's your take on like, the increase in break-ins in the GTA and like, how do you prevent that? And he's like, well, like you have to throw people in jail, but you can't because one, like the court system's backed up. There's like 2 years apparently to try on certain things, and then it goes to civil court. And like, cause like these are pretty connected people, right? They were like, the lawyers, they know like all they literally do, and this is literally just the playbook. You just delay, you delay, and you delay, and you delay, then delay. And then once you delay to 2 years, it gets thrown out. You have to go to civil. They've literally gotten tons of people off of like murder and like racketeering, like super serious charges that are like indefensible. Like, but it's just like, that's not the tactic. The tactic is not to go to court. The tactic is just to delay. Yeah. And then it gets thrown out.
If you can afford it, that's the tactic. That's it. Because you have to end up paying the legal fees over those 2 years.
Exactly. Yeah. But the other component there is too, is like the court system's already so backed up due to the pandemic. Like, and this is across like, Canada, United States, like in the world, like, right. Like those existing court cases are already really backed up. So that whole like 2 year leverage thing gets even worse. Anyway, it's just like.
So you'll find this interesting. Basically, so the actual like line items of the prison infractions that Eric Menendez did was, he worked with a prison gang, he bought drugs, used cell phones, and helped with a tax scam. I don't know how you do that. A tax scam.
What's tax?
Tax.
Interesting.
Yeah, like I don't know how you do that at a prison. Anyways,
maybe he like he helped them like launder the money or something.
His argument was that since he had no hope of ever getting out, then he prioritized protecting himself over following the rules. And then the reason why they're both up for parole is because a judge in May reduced their sentences. I don't know why, but yeah.
But see, like that statement in itself says it, right? Like they're prioritizing their survival in there and thus their comfort in there, right?
Well, I guess now that they know, what do they do over the next 3 years until their next parole hearing, I guess.
What can they do? Like the situation is not going to change. They're not going to not be in a gang in 3 years. Yep. I don't think their gang would be very happy with them wanting to leave the gang.
So do you think they deserve release?
I don't know what it is.
Don't know enough.
Like I really don't know. I just know like the existing system is very, it's not great, and there's so many pieces that it makes it literally feel like how do you even start? Like, right? Like how do you start with like controlling the fact that like, there is this like sort of like gang system in a lot of prisons. Like, how do you deal with that? I don't know if there's an answer to that. How do you deal with like, people like young people in certain neighborhoods, like, well, then that doesn't apply in this case, obviously, but like, I don't know. I guess like the whole prison issue and like bail reform and all this stuff is just it's so complicated.
Yeah, absolutely. The last headline that we have today, this one is an interesting one. I found it on the Peak, actually. So I don't know if you guys know this, but yeah, in Canada, housing starts. So the beginning of a development, like shovels in the ground, are the strongest they've ever been in 4 years. But in Ontario, the 6 month average for new builds has fallen to its lowest level in a decade. And this was an RBC analysis that posted this too. So Alberta and Atlantic Canada, they saw record high residential housing construction. Housing starts in Ontario declined by over 20% last month compared to July of 2024. So some of the reasons is that Ontario is a very tough place in the country to build. Prices for land, labor, and materials have all shot up. Construction costs in Ontario have grown the most out of any province in Canada over the last 8 years. And at the same time, a glut of resale listings, often cheaper than new builds, has pulled demand away from new projects. Interesting. Because everyone's talking about like buying property in Ontario. Everyone's talking about things. Well, I mean, you can see the prices for condos in Toronto at least have fallen dramatically, and new builds have definitely gone down in Toronto. I don't know, maybe Toronto's pulling that average down in a big way as well. I don't know what you guys think, but I thought this was an interesting find.
Yeah, like, I don't know, I guess maybe the more I'm growing up, like I don't want to live in a condo again.
Mm.
And if I do live in a condo, like I don't know where I'm getting these preferences from, but I know where I'm getting these preferences from. Damn you, Twitter. I was gonna be like, yeah, I want to live in like a penthouse or something. Ideally, I don't want to do a condo again. I don't know why. Like, and in my head, I'm curious. Like, are there other people that think like me? Because I'm curious specifically in the GTA and in Toronto. What's the percentage of like new builds that are condos versus like townhouses versus semi-detached versus detached, right? I would imagine my best guess, and we can find this out while I'm like rambling on, is like most of it would be
Condos, yeah, for sure.
right? And
For sure.
like clearly, condos are not like the inventory is not moving.
Let's take a step back though, right? I kind of agree, but I want to make one edit. The types of condos we're building are not the types of condos people want to live in.
Yes,
for
exactly.
sure.
Because they're all like
Yes.
500-600 square foot condos.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think
Yeah.
that actually is the
That's
fundamental
probably
issue.
even the fundamental. You're right.
An even bigger issue with that is we've already built so many of them.
I
Like,
know.
The problem is like these condos that are there are not selling, and until that changes,
Yeah.
no one's going to be incentivized to build new developments.
That's exactly
There's going to be
it.
no incentive. There's no groundwork for it. There's no justification for it. But like we're already in the deep end because these housing units that nobody wants have already been built, and you can see prices dropping. Well, they won't drop for much longer, but still, I mean, eventually people are going to buy them.
Why don't you
but
think they won't drop for much longer?
I just don't think that it's going to crash. I just don't think that things are going to crash to like ground level. That's it. Like
We're
eventually people are gonna
very far from ground level. Let's be clear.
We're very far from ground level. I know, but like what you can buy, like right now, there's condos that are selling in Toronto for like $400,000.
Yeah, what are we talking about, bro?
Yeah.
Those condos were purchased for like $100,000 as recently as like
I understand.
10 years ago.
Yeah, and
We're like nowhere near the ground.
well, sure, no, I get it, but let's say in the past like 2 years, these housing prices have fallen by like 20%. You know what I mean? Those used to be like $500,000-$600,000 condos.
Has it
It
been
would
20?
fall more.
I don't think it's
we're-
20%. I think it's less.
Well, these same condos were going for like $500,000-$600,000 like a year or two ago.
Are they?
Yeah, they were.
Okay.
need-
I haven't seen those stats.
We
to be
need it
completely
to
honest
fall
with you,
a
so.
lot more.
We need it to fall a lot more. I understand. I just I don't know. The rate of falling has also slowed down in recent months, but it's been like this for like a year or two.
Yeah, like I mean, honestly, like to be completely honest, like what's keeping me in Toronto? Like in Toronto, is like I do like the city. Like I love the restaurants, but even then, like I'm okay. Like I like the city. I like the culture. I like everything. But it's really the people I know, right? Like, and don't get me wrong. Like obviously, that's a portion of that is the city of Toronto in itself. But it's like there's a lot of things in Toronto I don't like. I don't like the rising crime rate. I don't like cost of living. I think it's extremely unreasonable. Like Toronto is probably one of the more unreasonable places in the world, like from like a cost of living standpoint, in comparison to like the average amount of money that people are bringing in. Like the perfect example is like the three of us, like in our household, we make a really substantial like income when you combine the three of us. It's more than the average household. Like, does anyone disagree with that?
No.
Do you guys feel like things are incredibly, like I think things are great, but I don't think like it's the equivalent of like being like let's say performing, I would argue like close to 50% above the average household. Like I don't think it feels like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. We would have thought like, it would feel. I think we live pretty great. I think most people
We do
acknowledge that we live like, you know what I mean? Like in the upper side of things, but I think your larger point though, like nothing, I can't take anything away from that where no, the cost of living is stupid. Like, the standard of living is great. Yes, for sure. But like wage growth, like we all know this is not going there. Costs are going up. Like at the end of the day, I mean, obviously we do love this, but like we're talking like I don't want to move to a 500, 600 square foot condo. I know none of us want.
No,
to.
dude.
Like,
no.
Like what are our prospects otherwise? Like, you get me? Like
I remember when we were first looking for a place, I think I was saying I don't want to live in a condo. I don't think we can. There's three of us. Like there's just not enough space.
Yeah, no, yeah, we defined that. But it was so funny. Remember when we first moved or we were moving to Toronto, our initial goal was to buy a home.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Like the three of us would put
They're like,
money
oh,
together.
that was the first. That's where it started.
That's
That's it.
where
And
it
then we're
started,
like,
yeah.
oh, maybe we should just rent a place.
Yeah, we were like, oh, like, yeah, we need like 50K for like and I just have to laugh at that now. For like a down payment, and like we'll get a home across the three of us, and then, you know, like slowly each of us will start moving out, and we'll be renting it until all three of us move out.
Like low key, like if there was a townhouse available for like 600,000, we could buy it now. It's just it hasn't dropped that much.
Yeah, I was
Like
gonna, we're not
townhouses, for
value of
like
houses hasn't
freeholds
decreased,
and
yeah.
townhouses, that market's healthy and it's fine. It's doing its thing. Like in Toronto, what's breaking apart is condos.
I do want to say this.
What do you mean by that market is healthy and it's fine?
Like they're
freehold
selling,
houses.
They're like they're
Oh,
selling.
yeah, they're selling.
Yeah,
Yes, yes,
there's
yes,
like a
yes.
flow
I mean,
in
we
and
still
out.
can't afford it.
And the prices have
Those
not
have not-
like fluctuated too much in the past few years, whereas condos have really taken a nosedive.
Yeah, but like I guess I'm speaking more about the affordability for
Right.
us as
Right.
opposed to, like, you get what I mean. So I don't. You're gonna say something. Luke.
I was gonna say, I think because like one of the things I think we were talking about is like who's more at fault? Is it like the regulations? Is it the market? I think specifically in Toronto, because of what you're bringing up, it is the regulations.
Absolutely is the regulation.
And like there might be different arguments for the wider ecosystem of Canada as a whole, but the fact that we have an overabundance of condos that people do not want to live in, but an underabundance of freehold houses is an indication of the how contracts are being awarded, what types of companies are winning contracts, because who can afford to build condos? Huge multi-conglomerate companies. Only those types of companies can afford to build condos. But regular development places can build houses. They can build houses. They can build multi-unit homes. They're not
But they're not. Because you can't you have like you can't build anything like lower than like 3-4 stories anymore in Toronto.
Yeah.
So there you go. It's a
Like
regulation.
you're not allowed to. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So maybe I was coming at it from the wrong angle.
We're talking about like
Yeah.
houses, in the system, like flowing in and out. Like the new builds are essentially in Toronto, at least, nowhere else, but like is strictly for like condos.
Really?
Yeah, like new builds, like you're only allowed to really build like new condos.
I didn't even know that. Like I was
stuff in Toronto. You
I was
can't-
commenting
you
more
won't get a
from like
permit
a,
for it if it's like a single family unit. There's too much demand. There's too much demand for housing.
but why don't we? But you see what I mean? Like, so why don't we do it? Like it makes no sense.
You need to do houses that can fit a lot of people on a small plot of land because we also don't have a lot of space to develop new houses. You have, let's say, like this much land. What, you're gonna give permits to single family homes, or you're gonna give permits to condos? You're gonna give permits to condos because they make more units.
Yeah, but you also make more money from the developers that build those condos. You know what I mean? Which is why these laws are like, like let's not like, you know what I mean? Like there's
like,
a
we're saying the same thing.
No, yeah,
Actually,
but like I guess even from that side, like I get the government's incentive there, and like kind of them thinking they're catering to the public, but at the end of the day, if like, you know, the condos can build more homes, but people are still choosing not to live in those homes, then it's a failure of policy. Right?
It is absolutely, and like we had, to be honest, I don't think anybody saw this coming.
Yeah,
but
no, that's fair.
It's like the thing is they're not gonna invest in housing, like single family housing, because they're not gonna put a dent in the demand. That's essentially their argument.
Well, the problem is the government of Canada probably paid like, you know, like $1 million to McKinsey for the strategy of like granting fucking like contracts to condos. And so congratulations. We spent the money on the consultation and it failed.
We spent the money on a slide deck.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Fix it,
please, Toronto.
Just
we would
like-
like to afford a home or at least buy a condo for $100,000.
Yeah, man. Some of these houses, man, like,
dude. Atlanta freehold 2-3 bed newly renovated 150 200K. Like that's a city. Anyways, yeah. Next topic.
Speaking of Toronto cultural phenomenons.
Okay.
I don't know.
That was what you got?
transition.
Yeah.
That was what I
cultural
got.
phenomenon.
It is a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah, it is.
It's a heavy topic that's circulating not just in Toronto, in Canada actually.
Yeah, no, so I guess what Arya is, you know, trying to allude to here is the surge in hate crimes, hate speech against Indians in Canada. And we got this article Where's the article from, Arya? Oh, thank you.
There you go.
Immigration News Canada. And this was as of August 4th, 2025. I'm just going to read some quick highlights. Okay, so police reported hate crimes targeting South Asians. And for those who aren't cultured enough to know what South Asians are, or who South Asians are, because I wasn't a couple months ago, weeks maybe.
No way.
Dude, like Southeast Asian, South Asian, West Asian, what the fuck does that mean? Just tell me Indian, Chinese, or Arab. Okay. Just tell me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, I was just like,
Great.
but like, I'm learning, and you guys should too. But yeah, police reported hate crimes targeting South Asians jumped by 227%. 227% between 2019 and 2023, with incidents increasing from approximately 140 to 458 annually.
Oh,
South Asians are now, okay, let's play a game. South Asians are now the third most targeted group in hate-related police calls behind what two groups?
Black people,
fuck yeah, for sure.
Wow. Yes. And
Asian people,
Probably white people.
like East Asian people.
no.
Not white people. Native Americans.
Oh, Latinos or Latinx.
Jeez, no.
No,
One more? When
It's not Asian?
You guys are gonna be like,
you want a specific demographic.
dude, if I say it, you guys are gonna
No,
be like,
you
I
want a
can't believe-
specific
Yeah,
nationality?
yeah,
Is that what
like,
you're looking
it's-
for?
It's a nationality, just to be
Ukrainian?
clear.
No,
Is it a nationality?
Jewish. Anyways,
Um,
look at that. How are you guys not
Ukraine-
like?
like a lot of Ukrainians are Jewish, but yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. That's actually true. But this specifically, South Asians, third most targeted group in hate-related police calls
Wow.
in Canada, behind Jewish and Black people. Those are not groups you want to be. Like, I mean, do you get what I mean? In terms of just hate crimes, you don't want to be in that group. No one does. Hate speech on X surged a staggering 1,350% between 2023 May and April 2025. 1,350%. Over 26,000 hateful posts were recorded during that 2-3 year period. And they garnered hundreds of thousands of views and likes. I don't know why they put the likes there. Real world incidents. In March 2025, an Indian student in Calgary was verbally assaulted on a train platform, with the incident captured on video that went viral, reaching 1.2 million views. I don't know. Did you guys see that video?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then in Brampton, often called Little Punjab, there was also a spike in. I probably
It's
shouldn't have
not
done
called
that.
Little Punjab at all.
No, it's just the voice.
Yeah, I don't know. No disrespect.
This
I'm
is
just an idiot.
this is the first time in my life after growing up next to Brampton I've ever heard it being called as Little Punjab.
I've heard it. I don't know if it was Little Punjab that they called it, but I've heard it
The
called
entire
like.
city they call Little Punjab.
Yeah, they call it. I've heard it called
okay.
like. I think like. I've heard it called like a Indian city before.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
one of
sure.
Well,
For sure.
From one of my friends that like lives and like chills there.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, like I get family into town and I take them there and I introduce it as this is basically this city back home kind of thing.
okay.
So
I
like
see, I see.
so maybe like we don't call it that, but maybe the people there call it that. Whatever. There's been a spike in vandalism of Sikh-owned businesses and gurdwaras, with smashed windows and graffiti. Police 15% increase in hate-related calls to the Toronto police. I think, excuse me, just like in broader context, like yes, like there's been a very, very noticeable rise in Indian hate over the past like couple of years. The stats go from 2019 and end all the way in 2025, and I think all of us here have noticed it.
100%.
We've talked about it, and I
absolutely,
don't know if we've
100%.
talked about it on a podcast, but we've certainly talked about it, like in our like personal conversations, just about how the jokes are,
They're starting not to feel like jokes.
they're starting not to
when
feel
you
like
hear them.
jokes. Yeah, the frequency is getting like a little bit alarming. It's just what do you guys think? Let's just leave it there. Like, what's the cause? Like, where's this coming from? This hasn't always been this way. I mean, there has been like, a mass immigration. Like, let's not hide away from that. Like, Canada recently opened its borders and is now shutting those borders down. And I mean, they weren't the South Asians weren't the like only immigrants, but maybe they were like the biggest group that immigrated.
I think we did look into this previously, and they were the biggest since like the mid 2000s, actually.
Yeah, but like that doesn't mean like they should get all the hate. Like the one thing shouldn't necessarily lead to the other. And I'm just curious, like in our personal lives, like why do you think like, and because I know when I came to Canada as an immigrant, like it wasn't that big a deal. If anything, I kind of admired them. And like, you see figures like Jackmeet Singh, who's like, a political like force, and he has a turban. I'm like, love that. You know what I mean? And like, how are they able to build such a groundswell and like a base? And it seems like, I mean, Jackmeet is, I don't know, he's no longer the leader of NDP, is he? No, and it's like,
he didn't win his seat.
Dude, he didn't
win his seat.
Yeah, he didn't win his seat.
Unfortunately.
By the way, Pierre just won.
He won it back.
Yeah, he won it back. But
I mean,
that's just by the wayside.
got a second chance, but like,
all of that to say, like, it just seems like the cultural cachet and the social cachet is plummeting. It's dropping really fast, and sentiment is turning even faster. And like, you guys have been here much longer than me. I'm curious what you think has changed, why this is happening, and
it's funny. This is funny. Sorry, that's just kind of how I'm starting a sentence. For me, at least, and Luke, I'll let you kind of speak for yourself here, because like you and I think had two different like growing up in Canada experiences.
Sure, yeah.
Demographic wise, like me growing up in Mississauga, I was constantly exposed to like South Asian culture, right? Like there's like a lot of folks there that are South Asian, and it felt very like normal and happen place. Nothing really felt like out of the ordinary. It wasn't until I got a little bit older I would go to like other cities that wasn't as diverse, I'd say, where you would start hearing the jokes or the commentary that was apparently not to be taken seriously. Even then though, like even being exposed to that and having that like kind of like harsh reality check when I moved out, I still notice like so much more negativity today than any other year that I've been alive. And it's crazy, like I just hear it on the streets, I like hear it in passing, like people that like you talk to regularly all of a sudden feel very comfortable saying this to you, not knowing how you would feel about it. You know what I mean? And I'm not here to like cast judgment on anybody. Obviously, like I don't think that any of this is okay. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, like if we had like a friendship or whatever that made you feel comfortable, saying this to me, I'm sorry, but like you shouldn't feel comfortable saying this to me. You know what I mean? I don't know. I could put some of it on immigration, but we've always been known for immigration. Like immigration has always been like in high concentration in Canada compared to other places. I think that fundamentally, and I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but obviously, South Asian culture, and I'm not trying to just group South Asian culture all into one place. I think I'm just, for the sake of being efficient with the conversation, South Asian culture is very different than Canadian culture. Or like Western culture, North American culture. And the thing about Canada is, when Canada did open up its borders and everything, is a come as you are, we will accept you. Multiculturalism became the identity of Canada at a certain point. Like it did. It was
1960s Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau.
Yeah.
Canada adopted multiculturalism as an official policy. Yeah. And then they dismantled discriminatory immigration laws and introduced the point system that we have today. So yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So it was embedded into the culture of the country to be accepting. Like the most I can explain it, because like I'm not in that mindset, to like these third, fourth, fifth generation Canadians that seem to be the most upset about this. And also, funny enough, other immigrants as well are some of the biggest perpetrators of this. Is that either not enough people got on board originally, or it's getting to a point here where they feel like their values are being, stepped on, which I don't think I agree with. I don't think I actually can see it that way, but that's the kind of the best explanation because it's just a shit situation.
Yeah. Before Luke goes, I wanted to add some positive stats. Canadian immigrants, well, not some positive. Let me just say stats. Stats are stats. We won't frame them for negative.
Some data.
Indian diaspora grew rapidly from a few thousand in the 1950s to over 1.3 million in 2021. Toronto became the hub, hosting about or over 812,000 Indian Canadians. Indian immigrants have been integral to Canada's success. In technology, they fueled the rise of Silicon Valley North. Indian origin professionals are leading startups in Waterloo, Ottawa, and Vancouver. In healthcare, Indian doctors and nurses address critical shortages. A 2023 report by the Canadian Medical Association noted that 12% of practicing physicians in Canada are of South Asian descent. Festivals like Diwali and Vaisakhi draw thousands with vibrant parades in Surrey and Toronto. Butter chicken, samosas, and dosa become staples.
Oh, they are, yeah.
I just wanted to highlight contributions, but I do want to get Luke's opinion.
I personally see things a little differently.
Go for it.
I think immigration is a huge part of this, actually. I don't think it's a small part because there is an equal distribution in, let's say, South Asian immigration to every country in the world. Like
you said, there isn't.
There is not.
That's correct.
Percentagely,
yeah.
There is a much larger percentage of them immigrating to Canada in comparison to other countries. So, number one, I think this kind of like hate is specific to Canada. So I think again, like you look at the exact same thing in the U.S. Like there's going to be a degree of it, but I don't think it's the exact same as this.
I just want to add on because the Indian hate topic has actually become a huge thing as of late in the US, especially with the whole H-1B visa fiasco. Like Trump was trying to get rid of that, and that sparked a whole debate between like MAGA supporters and non-MAGA, all in the tech sphere. By the way, this was all like a Northern California like tech conversation, but it trended very hard.
Are you?
I'm just saying like that's a recent thing.
I doubt this not the same stat for Southeast Asians.
I don't think it's on the same level.
No,
I think this is a Canadian article, and this is specific to Canada.
Yeah,
like in the US, they have Mexicans to worry about.
I just wanted to indicate, like, I think specifically this is thinking about Canada. This is thinking about the most populous and multicultural places in Canada, like the GTA and British Columbia, specifically Surrey, out in BC. So I think I want to say this right off the bat. Like, I think it's deplorable. It is not acceptable to rationalize an entire group. At the same time, there is a common saying, which is the many are defined by the few. People have these extreme like opinions, like why is it that like you think like there are stereotypes, right? It's always based on the most extremes of that population. So I think this is like absolutely deplorable, but like your girlfriend's ex-roommate had that experience in Brampton, right? That's a real house that exists in Brampton. It's vastly overcrowded. Each room is housing 4 people, right? They're doing like Uber Eats 24/7. This is not information that we read off of the internet. This is a person we know and their roommate doing that. So and I don't think I think this is a very small selection of this like group that has immigrated here, right? But like it does exist. And I think if it does exist, you have to think about the people who live in those neighborhoods, right? Yeah. Like the people who grew up in those neighborhoods in Brampton and stuff that, might be used to a certain style of living that they identify as Canadian living and they feel disrupted. And I think that specific person definitely has the right to feel disrupted, right? And then why is this hate so big now? Because of amplification of social media. Like those super small niche cases like we're talking about with that individual in Brampton, in the past, the only people that would know about that is that group, right? And they might talk about it and they might try to deal with it, etc. But now there is a blown up like basically lens on these things, and these types of more outrage content gets that type of attention. It gets that appeal. People like to engage with outrage, right? So it's like, I think it's almost like there's an extremely, extremely, extremely small nugget of truth there that is being amplified by 1 billion and only being focused on, because I can say this personally, man, like I am like, when you guys were talking, I was even thinking, I was like, when did this start? Because it's so hard for me to pinpoint when, and I think I would be,
I think it was gradual build up over the past
post COVID, right?
Post-COVID
For sure. For sure, post
It was
COVID.
post COVID recovery, in my opinion. Like
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah,
been
like,
like a couple of
after
years.
2020,
It's been a slow build up
Yeah.
over the past couple of years, is what I've noticed. Because like, you know, I have like Indian friends. You know, I talk to them. You know, they give me experiences. They say like, oh, this guy, like, you know, yelled
You're
at
right.
me. You know what I mean?
These
Like,
are
whatever.
things they did, yeah. And I think like it's interesting too, because it's like, for like, again, like the internet is the internet, and like I obviously like have my own issues with it, where like I get into it rabbit hole and I'm like, the world sucks, but it's like, the world does not suck. Like it's your actual, and like my own personal like experiences with Indian coworkers, and like one of my best friends growing up, Sam, was Indian, and like his family was like one of the most like open and loving and accepting families. Like they would invite me over, they would feed me all the time. Like he'd be going home for lunch and he'd just be like, do you want to come? Maybe one of the reasons why I was fat, because I was eating 2 lunches, but like all this to say, like
The secrets come out.
you know what I mean? Like, so that was like that was my first experience. Dude, you can ask my parents this. Like when I back then, like when I would go to his house so often, my parents were like, "You're gonna marry an Indian girl because you love curry so much." Like I think I've like, and to date, do I not make curry like the most? Like in terms of all the stuff I make.
Asian curry.
I do. I've eventually transitioned because I honestly the Indian curries are too hard to make, right? But like Indian coworkers I knew, my first job, my first like real like project management internship job at BWXT, my manager Harpreet, like, and the guy on the floor that like really showed me around, like I think his name is Nazar. Both of them were like so like just so incredibly accommodating. Like they were like the type of people that just always over deliver. You know what I mean? And it's like, that was genuinely my thought of how Indian people were like, and I still have that opinion to this day. Like I've never personally met an Indian person that hasn't been like that. Like one of our close friends, Sunday, like one of the most mature, put together, stoic, kind of like, yeah, obviously, like, you know, we're friends, so we like, you know, like we'll poke fun at each other. Yeah, Arya gets bullied by Sunday sometimes. That's their relationship dynamic. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I think
you know the hate is not targeted towards
they're not, but I think I just wanted to also kind of highlight like that's the reason why I think it is a social media amplification thing, because you're saying it's not people like him, but it's like what fundamentally looks different, right? Like
he'll get the brunt end of it, I think, for sure.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And I think that's
I've heard stories.
Yeah.
I'll also say this. I think too, especially over the past like couple years, there's been an increase of criticism on like liberal immigration policies, right?
In general,
in general, and there's because you know there was a campaign afoot, there was an election afoot, right? Immigration was one of the largest topics, right? And throughout the course of this campaigning, I find that the blame for the position that Canada is in at many points throughout the conversation was emphasized, and like a lot of weight was put on immigration policy. Yeah. So a lot of folks who essentially only listen to the news, that's where they get their source of truth from, everything like that. Yeah. They're going to automatically associate all of the bad things that are happening to them with immigration and immigrants. And then who's the largest group as a part of this? Indian. So I think a lot of it comes from that as well, is like our politicians really failed us in terms of fighting for their parties. Like, you're right. Forget about who you support at the end of the day. I think a lot of the politicians for the past few years failed Canadians in terms of how they treat one another. Yeah. Like you can fight for yourself, you can do what you want. We've talked about this as well with, you know, like Trump coming in from 2016. I find politics has been very like bipartisan, you know, over the past like 8 to 10 years. More than it should be, more than it ever has been in my lifetime, at least. Sorry, partisan, in more than it ever has in my lifetime. And I think that's part of it. You know, like they carry the national rhetoric. They say, hey, this is what's happening to the country. This is why it's happening to it. People don't know better than to find nuance in the conversation of immigration. Unfortunately, right? Because that information needs to be delivered up front. People are going to go find their own news sources, their own ways to rationalize what you say, but to your point, I think, yes, social media is a huge part of that. it amplifies messages in society. And one of the biggest messages has been that immigration has ruined our country. That is what I hear every single day on the news from our politicians. And sure, immigration has been an issue, and like I'm not gonna like sit here and swipe that away, but immigration alone is not the reason why we are where we are today.
It's absolutely not.
It's not.
It's
Let's be real. Let's be real about
Yeah.
this. And if you think that's the case, be real about it. Come have a conversation with us.
I actually want to kind of end off with one very common complaint I've been hearing, which is like, why are they taking the jobs at Tim Hortons where like our kids should be working these jobs? You know what I mean? Like that's a common thing I've been hearing, where it's like our teenagers should be working jobs at Tim Hortons and McDonald's and building a life experience. Yeah. First of all,
They want to be influencers.
guys,
YouTubers.
all of the listeners, anyone here who has had a job in high school, I had a job in high school, I had a job in university. What is the number one criteria to hiring someone in high school specifically? The number one criteria.
You need to be like 16.
Yes, but like, okay. But the number one criteria is
actually you need to be of majority.
is your availability.
Yes.
It's your schedule. Like,
Yeah.
if you, dude, I remember this so clearly because when I was applying for McDonald's and I wasn't getting it, and then I applied for a server job, and then I was asking my friend who like had worked at Starbucks like ever since like she was in like grade 10 in the summer, and she was like, oh, like what did you give your availability as? And I was like this, and she was like, yeah, you're not gonna get hired. Like you're basically telling them you can work 2 days. Why would they hire you? And I'm like, is anyone like, you know what I mean? Like I want to guess that kids are not going into Tim Hortons being like, yeah, you know, I'm willing to work most weekdays and I can also work weekends for you guys. No, those kids are probably like, hey, I am specifically willing to work on Tuesday from the hours of 4 to 10. Like I'm obviously both like, but you get what I mean? Like, I don't think there's that flexibility with this current generation. And like, I honestly don't think they want to work. Like,
yeah, no, they want.
Or if they want to work, I don't think they want to work fast food jobs and things like that. I think
blame,
whatever the reason is, doesn't actually matter. I just don't think that they want to do it.
So then the blame gets put on the immigrants, and it's like, you know, my girlfriend's mom is literally a manager at Tim Hortons, and one of my clients, the HVAC client, his wife owns like I think 6 or 7 Tim Hortonses. The number one thing they say is without these immigrants, these businesses would be unstaffed. That's what they say. Like the reality is exactly as you say, it's so easy to have the scapegoat, right? And I think that's ultimately what has happened in this situation. Like people have chosen this as the scapegoat for this like specific era. And yeah, like really, it's really unfortunate.
Yeah,
it really does suck.
It's a lot more nuanced than just like immigration. Like there's like immigration does so much, you know what I mean? And yeah, we got to dig deep. But yeah,
but immigration has been the most polarizing issue in Canada over the past several years.
In the West.
In the West, yeah. I think, yeah, well.
I think it's just like, you know, same thing as like when you, when you're like in a car, it's like when you get road rage, it's like, just try to remember like on the other side of that is like another human being.
Yeah.
Like that's it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like you can have whatever opinions you have, and like you can commentate on like Canadian culture dying or whatever, but it's like, understand that like, you're at the end of the day, you're talking about like a mom or a dad or a son or a sister.
Someone who can feel the exact same way you feel.
Straight up, yeah.
Yeah. No, great way to end it, man.
Yeah. As a Canadian, you have a duty to your neighbors. We're not the nicest nation in the world for no reason. But anyways. All right. We will round this off. Thank you, D, for bringing that topic to the table. That was a really good one. And honestly, I feel like we might be talking about it in the future again, hopefully in a better light.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we're going to round this off with some things going on. By the way, speaking of South Asian culture, I was looking for Tamil Fest, because, you know, I mentioned Tamil Fest, right? It got canceled. I have no idea why.
I think we spoke about Tamil Fest.
We did last
we did. It's like the largest festival of its kind in the world.
In the world, yeah.
It got canceled. I have no idea why.
Tamils, South Asians?
Yes. Yeah. I think most of them are from Sri Lanka.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. Sri Lanka, yeah.
Alrighty. So we're going to go through some festivals that are happening in late August, early September. So August 24th and 25th. Oh, that one was probably not a good one to put up because today's the 26th. This might have been another hallucination. But anyways, TIFF is starting September 4th to 14th. It'll be downtown Toronto, the city's biggest cultural event of the year.
Have you ever gone for a TIFF?
I went 1 year. I
I feel like I should go for at least
in
one
uni.
event.
We should go this year. We should go get some tickets.
Let's
this
see.
year.
Yeah, let's see what's throwing.
I always have something going on, which is the unfortunate thing.
Dude, there's actually like Parasite showed at TIFF before it came out in theaters and won the Oscar. There's actually TIFF is considered, by the way, if you didn't know, it's literally considered the best consumer-based award in the entire world, because things like Cannes is all critic-based. You know what I mean? So TIFF is considered one of the most relevant, largest consumer-based film festivals in the world.
Every year we get crazy celebrities coming to TIFF, doing the runway and everything. It's holy crap! I can see it from my office window. This is so cool.
Yeah.
Also, another piece of sad news, because I don't know if you guys knew this, but last year, Taste of Danforth got canceled.
Yeah, and it's getting canceled.
This year got canceled again.
Yeah,
What's going on?
No funding.
No funding. They're unable to fund it. That's the problem. That used to be my favorite festival in the entire city, Greek Fest, but unfortunately we won't get it this year anyways.
We went 2 years ago.
We did go 2 years ago. But what we do get is Taste of Kingsway. So that's Bloor Street West.
Yeah, that's really close.
That's right near us.
Ukrainian.
Yeah, no, that's not Ukraine Fest. It's not Uke Fest. Uke Fest is different. This is Taste of Kingsway. This is just in the Kingsway neighborhood, and there's food, live music, family activities. September 6th to 8th.
Is it because there's South Kingsway and there's Kingsway a little bit further north?
It's a little bit further north. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because South Kingsway is a very it's not very commercial.
There's nothing going on.
And then Uke Fest. Again, we're shouting out the west side of the city, our neighborhood, Bloor West Village, September 13th to 15th.
Just tell everybody where we live.
It's already happened on this pod, by the way, and I made the same comment. So
double down.
Not enough people listen to our pod.
Okay, great.
Uke Fest having September 13th to 15th. Come catch us there if you want to see us there. This is North America's largest Ukrainian festival. I don't know if you guys knew that.
North America's.
North America's.
Wow,
yeah.
I am surprised to hear that. Yeah.
Anyways, those are our events over the next couple weeks. We hope to see you, and we hope you tune in our next episode. And until then, one love.
Aces.
Mwah.